Imagine someone looks you in the eyes, smiles, and tells you they can make you rich. Not with hype, not with luck, but with certainty, numbers, data, a system. And the scariest part? It makes sense. So you trust her. You invest, and then it's gone. $4 billion. Gone. No crash. No warning. Just silence. And the woman behind it? She disappeared. No trace. No body. Nothing. Not Interpol, not the FBI. No one. 3 million people trusted her. Millions more believed in what she was building. None of it was real. This is the story of Ruja Ignatova, the crypto queen. And the most dangerous lie ever sold to the world of money. To understand how someone steals $4 billion, you don't start with the money. You start with the mind. Ruja Ignatova was born in 1980, Sofia, Bulgaria. Cold, gray, predictable. But she wasn't. While others followed rules, she studied them. Then learned how to bend them. At 19, she left. Germany, law school, top of her class. A doctorate with distinction. Then McKinsey & Company. Elite, precise, untouchable. 6 languages, perfect image. The kind of person you don't question. The kind of person you trust, without thinking. And that was the real asset. Because long before OneCoin, long before the stages, there were already signs. 2012 Germany. Fraud. Missing money. Charges. She paid, walked away. No headlines, no noise. Just a quiet reset. Because for her, this wasn't failure. It was practice. 2014. Bitcoin is revolutionizing the world. But for most people, Bitcoin is confusing. It's technical, it's invisible, and right there, Ruja sees the perfect opportunity. She founds OneCoin. And her pitch is simple, devastatingly simple. Bitcoin is the past. OneCoin is the future. From day one, Ruja understands something everyone else misses. People don't buy cryptocurrency. People buy stories. And she could tell stories better than anyone alive. She took the stage with the confidence of a Silicon Valley CEO. She spoke in London, in Dublin, in Dubai, in Singapore. She showed graphs, data, projections. Everything looked real. Everything looked enormous. Because it was. Just not in the way they thought. In 2 years, OneCoin went from an unknown startup to having offices in 175 countries. 175. 3 million members. Salespeople in Africa, Asia, Eastern Europe, Latin America. Ordinary people. Teachers, nurses, farmers, retirees. People who had never invested in anything. Who didn't know what a blockchain was, but who knew exactly what poverty felt like and what it meant to finally have a way out. A woman in Uganda sold her house. A man in Germany invested his daughter's inheritance. A couple in China put in 30 years of savings. A teacher in Italy sold her car, not out of greed, out of hope. Because Ruja didn't promise them quick riches. She promised them something far more powerful. She promised security, a future, a way to leave something behind for their children. And when someone promises you that, with data, with graphs, with an Oxford PhD, it's very hard not to believe them. But there were signs. There always are. The first one? Nobody could independently verify OneCoin's blockchain. In the crypto world, the blockchain is public. Anyone can audit it. OneCoin's was private. Only Ruja had access. When experts pointed this out, OneCoin's salespeople had the perfect answer. It's to protect investors. The second sign. The sales structure was a pyramid. The more people you recruited, the more you earned. Not because the coin had real value, but because you brought in new members. It was a classic Ponzi scheme, disguised as a technological revolution. And the third sign. Perhaps the most obvious of all. There was no way to withdraw your money. When someone tried to sell their OneCoin, there was always a technical issue. A delay, a new regulation, an excuse. Always an excuse. But people kept investing. Because Ruja kept promising, and the promise was always bigger than the doubt. June 2016. Wembley Arena, London. The same stadium where the Beatles played, where Michael Jackson sold out night after night. That evening, it was Ruja Ignatova's turn. 90 minutes on stage. Thousands of people standing, applauding, crying with emotion. She walked out in a silver gown, diamonds at her ears, with the certainty of someone who believes, or pretends to believe, that she is changing the world. That night, she made a historic promise. OneCoin will surpass Bitcoin before 2018. The crowd erupted. And in that moment, if you had been there, would you have believed her too? Honestly. Because the people in Wembley that night weren't stupid. They were human. And humans want to believe. Here's the truth. OneCoin had no blockchain. Read that again. A cryptocurrency with no blockchain. The coins didn't exist on any decentralized network. They existed in a private database, Ruja's database, which she could modify at will. Did OneCoin's price go up? Because she changed the number. The trading platform where you bought and sold? Fake. The external audits certifying everything? Us. The financial advisors recommending OneCoin? Secretly paid. 3 million people believed they owned something of value, when in reality, they owned a number in an Excel spreadsheet that Ruja controlled, that Ruja could delete, that Ruja already knew was worth nothing. From day one, 2017, the United States Department of Justice has been investigating for months. Wiretaps, undercover informants traced bank transactions. Picture becomes clear, devastatingly clear. In May 2017, the FBI formally charges OneCoin with massive fraud. Her brother Constantine is in their crosshairs. Partners are starting to talk. And Ruja knows. Because someone tipped her off. It wasn't the first time she'd been warned. But this time, it was different. This time there was no fine to pay, no clean way out. So she made a decision, the only decision she had left. October 25th, 2017. Sofia Airport, Bulgaria. Ruja Ignatova checks her luggage. Passes through security. Boards a Ryanair flight. Destination Athens. And disappears. Just like that, no goodbye, no warning to her partners, no trace, she simply vanishes. What happened next is even more disturbing. Her brother Constantine kept running OneCoin for 2 more years. 2 more years. People kept investing. Because nobody told them Ruja was gone. Nobody told them the architect of the entire operation had fled. They kept buying packages, kept recruiting friends and family, kept waiting for the big moment that never came. that was never going to come. When it all came to light, the world wasn't prepared for the scale of the damage. A teacher in Uganda lost her life savings. A man in Germany invested the money he'd saved for his children's education. An elderly couple in Portugal put in their entire pension. A woman in the UK convinced her whole family to invest and had to look them in the eyes when everything collapsed. These are not statistics. These are lives. $4 billion is not an abstract number. It's homes lost. It's weddings that never happened. It's retirements destroyed. It's dreams that someone turned into nothing. Yes, with a smile and a PowerPoint presentation. Interpol issued a red notice. The FBI placed her on their most wanted list. Konstantin was arrested in 2019. Convicted. Several accomplices behind bars. But Ruja is still missing. Some say she's in Dubai. Others say Russia. Some believe she underwent plastic surgery, that she lives under a false identity, that somewhere in the world right now, she is watching the news about herself, laughing, or maybe not. Some say she's dead, that someone had her silenced. No body has ever been found. No proof either way. Just silence. And 3 million people still waiting for answers, still checking accounts that hold nothing, still asking themselves how it was possible, how someone looked them in the eyes and lied so perfectly. She didn't steal money. She stole trust. And that doesn't come with a refund. She didn't promise to make you rich. She promised that someone, for once, actually cared about your future. And that lie was the most expensive one in history.